You know, I do talk a lot about skiing, snowboarding, cross-country skiing. I reference a lot of my time spent in the Rocky Mountains in the 90s and early 2000s, but my favorite winter sport is après, especially outside on a deck with sunshine. That's exactly what we had today. All areas across the state, plenty of sunshine. So I know a lot of people who did get up for the midweek period. Midweek period is the sleeper good time at our local resorts. Wherever you drive to, it's generally quieter and the conditions are fantastic. I don't even have to look at the numbers. I know Powderhorn's having a great season. Now, we get into our own season down here. We're clearing out from colder temperatures. We have a nice nighttime sky tonight. A lot of planets, a lot of stars. We're still shooting for that comet viewing. One complication, however, we have a full moon building. So that's a competing light source, making it a little bit tough. Speaking of tough, these numbers this morning: 1 degree start for Montrose, near the 10 and 15 degree start for Delta, Grand Junction. Low temperatures across the region. Well, I had hoped we'd go a little bit colder for the northwest Colorado zones. That's the wrong way to put it. Generally speaking, we go colder on the second mornings, but we survived. We did well. Into the southern zones and the central zones, they did actually get their coldest morning. Montrose also picked up a cold morning this morning. But let's talk about high temperatures today, because this is where all the action is. We're talking about a bit of a warming trend, and we're going to trend warmth all the way through the end of the weekend. And we'll still maintain great temperatures next week. High temperatures, mid-30s. Whether it was 33 or 37, that's what you expected. That's what you got this afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, plenty of dry conditions. And the improvement continues tomorrow as well, folks. We're not setting records, but we are building warmth, and that's the good news. Now, as we get into Thursday, a little bit of cloud coverage. Not exactly a bluebird day, but pretty close to that bluebird day. On Friday, we'll see a little bit of cloud coverage moving in. Cloud coverage is good in the early morning hours because it helps with our low temperatures. Boosts them up a little bit, and we really could use that nudge up out of the single digits and into the teens, into the 20s, and into the near 30-degree low temperature readings. I'll show that to you on the extended forecast. It'll make more sense. Just a little bit of a breeze kicking around, knocking our temperatures down, courtesy of that wind chill, but it's not a lot of wind. We're talking less than 5 miles per hour across the area. Top wind gusts of the day, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Wind is not really a big factor in our forecast moving forward. We don't have a lot of incoming storm systems. We have two. We have one on Friday that's going to pass by to the north. It'll introduce cloud coverage, but not a lot of wind. And we have a secondary system coming through beginning of next week, so late Sunday into Monday. But again, it's not a direct impact for our area, so it's not like we're going to see a whole lot of storm activity for the valleys. In fact, at best, our mountain zones will pick up ½ an inch of new snow Monday night. Well, Monday. We'll just call it that whole 24-hour period. As we get closer to it, we'll nail down that forecast. Quiet sweep on the radar, quiet sweep for satellite imagery, no moisture. So we're heading into this dry pattern. We're heading into this quiet pattern as well. And this is very different. January, we had like 2/3 of the entire month was active with weather. A lot of great snow. Our snowpack in the mountain zones, very high. It's like 120, 130% of the norm to date. But this extended period that we're going to get into, which could last about a week, I know it doesn't sound like a lot, it could last about a week of storm-free activity, no hazardous weather, but that will lower that snowpack. So with that being the case, because we're not adding anything to it, I think we're still going to be fine. We're still going to be fine because the second half of February is trending colder and snowier. So we're back in it again. Still clear, still cold tonight, quiet conditions, and we'll see sunshine again tomorrow. But as we get later into this work week, which essentially is the next 48 hours, Thursday and Friday, we're going to start to build in a little bit of cloud coverage here, a little bit of cloud coverage there. A weak system passing through, that's going to add clouds on Friday. And that's what Friday's going to look like. Temperatures in the low 40s. Improvements for the low temperatures as well. Technically speaking, 12 degrees tomorrow morning for Grand Junction. Yeah, that's still a bit of a chilly start. But our average low temperature is about 19 degrees. Once we get into the weekend, with the addition of that cloud coverage, that's where we're going to notice the differences between 10 and almost 30-degree lows. Same differences being felt and experienced in the afternoon hours. We're supposed to be low 40s this time of the year, 40, 41. As you can see, moving through the rest of the work week, we get into those zones and then we surpass that. A lot of people in the newsroom want to argue with me about Sunday's forecast, near 50 degrees. Yeah, we're going to push up. We're going to see if we can engage the southwest flow courtesy of the incoming system. But again, it's not an impactful system for us, but we will continue to trend our temperatures warmer. You see what happens at the beginning of next week. We do expect mountain snow for the Monday period, but again, we're only talking about 6 inches or less. And I'll be hesitant to even say that Montrose will jump into that opportunity. But because we're a little bit higher and a little bit southern in the zone, we could see that mountain snow potential. But again, The rest of next week, we're looking at some cooler temperatures, and by the end of next week, possibly a more significant storm system.